Just click create. Okay. So what's the difference between a switch or a flow decision or flow chart? Okay. So ideally what we do actually, decision, just click open main workflow. Okay, I'm just going to remove all those things, it's not required. Yeah, done, remove. Now just okay, create two variables here. Okay, variables something like this. First select here and create a sequence first of all. Yeah, created. Okay, and inside the sequence I'm just going to create a variable. Just delete it. New variable var underscore 1. Okay, so this is integer type. Okay, next again I am creating one more variable var underscore 2. Okay, again another integer. Okay, done. Two integers we have created. Now I'm just going to decision. Okay, assign. Where is assign? Yeah, this is assign. Okay, so control C, control V, var 1. Sorry. Then coming to another variable var 2. Okay, now decision. See, flow decision. Okay, this is very important. Okay, this is what I want to explain. Flow decision. See, can we add here flow decision? No. Okay. So flow decision, the difference between a flow, if condition and flow condition, flow decision, flow decision can be used at a flow chart level, flow chart or a workflow chart or a workflow level. Okay, we can't use at a sequence level, Okay, so at sequence level, if you want to use conditions or a decisions, you can simply use a if condition. See if. Okay, so this is also a conditional. Here, see, you can able to add. See, so here you can simply say var 1, okay, less than, okay, var 2, var 1 less than var 2. Okay, var 2. Okay, then you can simply add some text message box or something, whatever you want. Okay, otherwise you can simply use a write line add to the sequence, and you can also use a else. Okay, there is another write line. Okay, added. Okay, so inside write line we are simply saying variable 1 is okay less than variable 2 else what actually, control A, control C, else variable greater than variable 2. That's it. Okay, so here what we did actually, we have created two variables and we are comparing two variables in a if syntax. But I just want to apply decision flow or flow decision. How do you apply? As I said, flow decision can't be applied at a sequence level. Okay, please remember this. You can't add at a flow decision level. Then where you can add? Just go back to main, and here I just want to apply flow decision. You see, flow decision. See, right? Okay. Here, you see, this is true and this is false. That means we can add two more sequences. Okay. So just we can add a flow decision only at a workflow level. We can't add at a sequence level. Please remember that. And again, we are going to add a sequence now. The sequence we are going to add a, okay, here, true. Okay. And there is another sequence for false. False. Okay. So what is true and what is false actually? Okay. So this is true and this is false. Okay. Then coming to the condition. What is the condition here? Okay. Variable. Okay. Variable 1 and 2. These two are not able to see. Why? Go to variables here. Just go to variables here. This is actually scope limited to sequence. That's the reason we are not able to access it. So please remember this scope also very important. Scope, if you define to sequence level, we can't use outside the scope, outside the sequence. These variables are limited to, are accessible only to the sequence level. That means both the variables are local to sequence. I'm going to change the scope now. Scope to main. Okay. So the scope has been changed to workflow level, main. Okay. Then coming to condition, come here. Okay. So variable 1 greater than, okay, variable 2, otherwise variable 1 less than variable 2. Okay. So if you want to add in a, I mean extra, what you call it, yeah, expression editor, you can do that. So variable 1 less than variable 2. Okay. Just click OK. Now, if the condition is true, it will execute this sequence. The sequence is very simple. Again, just go and add here. So just click here, just right line. Okay. So same syntax. You can simply say less than. Okay, variable 2. Okay, done. And again, come back. There is another sequence here. Okay, just click here and just add a right line again. Okay. So again, here simply say greater than. Okay, greater than variable 2. Okay, is it clear? Now just execute the program, execute the file. Okay, just opens a main. Okay, yeah, starting main, actually integer, variable 1, variable 2, if condition yes. Okay, and then go to flowchart. See, twice it has printed. See, look at here, variable 1 is less than variable 2, variable 1 is less than variable 2. To, okay, remove the confusion, which flow get executed, you can slightly change this workflow. Okay, this workflow. Decision flow. Okay, decision flow. Control S. Okay. Okay, let's just go to main. Okay, debug the file. Okay. So variable 1, variable 2, again come to right line and then enter the right line. Again go to flowchart and check the decision flow. Variable 1 is less than variable 2. Okay. So that's how it works. See, decision flow. This is ordinary flow and this is a decision flow. Try to understand. There's a difference between decision flow and the ordinary flow. Okay. Now save all. Okay. Save as. Save as. You can simply use. Is actually, yeah, flow decision. Flow decision. Done. Okay. Now come back to project. I want to create I want to create a one more workflow. See, I just want to create a one more flow chart, and this is actually sub flow. Okay, sub process you can say, or sub workflow. Now I just want to explain how to invoke a sub workflow from a main workflow. How to do that? Okay. Here also I'm going to add okay, a few components here. Okay. Control C, Control V. Okay, this is a copy. Actually, I'm just going to change it actually. Okay. Now we have sub workflow and sub workflow 2. Okay, two sub workflows are there. Just go to main.xaml file. Here we have a main workflow, and here, okay. I just want to invoke. Okay, sub workflow XAML file. Okay. So how do we invoke actually? Here a flow decision is there. So just to open this. Okay. Inside sequence, I don't want the, okay, let it be flow chart, let it be. Okay, I just want to invoke a workflow. How to invoke a workflow? Just go to activities, invoke. Okay, invoke workflow. Where's the workflow? Invoke PowerShell, invoke code, invoke workflow file. This one. Okay, just go and add this invoke workflow. Okay, which workflow you want to invoke actually? Just put a folder. I just want to invoke a sub workflow. Okay, sub workflow, and then there is another one. There is another sequence right here. So here also I want to invoke another workflow. How do you invoke? How do you invoke? See this one. Invoke workflow, and this time I want to invoke workflow 2, sub workflow 2. Okay, so there are two workflows are there. Based on the condition, it invoke a particular sub workflow. Okay, to distinguish these workflows, I want to give some statements. Okay, sub workflow.xaml file. Inside this, do you have anything? No, it doesn't contain anything actually. I simply add some okay, right line statement activities. Okay, right line. Okay, so I can simply say okay, this is a sub workflow. This is a sub workflow. That's it. That is enough. Okay. Next, coming to projects. This is sub workflow 2, right? Yeah, the sub workflow 2 has many sequences again, but I will give you one statement here before going to enter sequence. I just want to mention. Okay. Here I want to add. Okay. Right line. Okay. This is a sub workflow 2. Okay. Yeah, control S. Come to main.xaml file now. Look at here. First, it will go to main. Inside main, we have a sequence. It will execute all these commands anyway, and then it will print actually, and then finally it will go to the activity called flow chart, flow decision. Okay, inside flow decision, since the condition is true, it will come to sequence. Inside sequence, it will simply say flow decision where one is greater than one is less than variable 2. That's fine. But here it invokes sub workflow XAML file. Okay, sub workflow XAML file does not contain anything. Simply return some okay text. That's all. Okay, just anyway run and see. Just run this program. Okay, so look at here. Yeah, it's going to if class and then class and again go to decision flow sequence. See, yes, it has invoked a completely different workflow. Remember, so we can invoke workflows, one workflow from another workflow. See, to distinguish, you can say this is sub workflow. That means it to invoke some another workflow. Okay, is it clear? I'll create one more. Flow chart. Just go to home. Go to start transactional process. I want to create one more transactional process. Just click day 66. Okay. Invoke workflows. Okay. Okay. Now we have main.xaml file. Yeah. So I'm just going to remove all those things not required for me. Okay. Remove. Okay. So start is there. Then go to add sequence here quickly. So activities sequence. Right. And come to actions. Okay. So here I just want to invoke a sub workflow. Before going to invoke, I simply added two more workflows. Just click new workflow chart, sub workflow 1. Okay. And then similarly, I just want to add Control C, Control V. Okay. This is actually sub workflow 2, sub workflow. Okay. 2. Done. Okay. Sub workflow 1 does not contain anything. So I simply add, okay, right line. Done. Okay. So this is this is sub workflow 1. Okay, done. After that, I just want to invoke workflow. Okay, I want to invoke workflow. So just add invoke workflow. Okay, so invoke workflow. Where is workflow? Invoke code. Yeah, right. Invoke process or invoke workflow, whatever you want, you can do. So invoke workflow. Right. Done. Okay. So double click into view. It does not contain anything. We have to add. Okay. Just go and add a sub workflow too. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So just come back. Okay. So this is main, right? Add this sequence once again, just to invoke workflow 1. Here I just want to invoke sub workflow 1. Okay. Clear? So I just want to add here one more statement, right line. Okay. Just remove it off. Okay. Here I just want to add here. Okay. Set as a start node. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, set as a start node. Inside sequence, we have only invoke workflow, right? I just want to add here one more thing. That is right line. Okay. Here we are in main workflow. That's it. Okay. Now let me explain the logic. Okay. This is a main workflow. Inside a main workflow, we have a sequence. Inside a sequence, we have two actions. One is simply, okay, output the value. We are in a main workflow. That means simply print the value in the output. After that, it invokes a workflow file. Which workflow file? Sub workflow 1.xaml file. Okay. So sub workflow 1.xaml file. After that, what it does actually, it invokes this sub workflow one dot XAML file is there, right? It in turn it invokes sub workflow two dot XAML file. That means main will invoke workflow one, and workflow one in turn invokes a workflow two. That's it. Okay. Control S, save everything. Okay. Save everything. So save all. Okay. Debug file now. Okay. Just to open main and then debug the file. Automatically it invokes we are in main workflow, and then it will go to, okay, yeah, we are in main workflow, and then it will go to the invoke workflow. This is sub workflow one, and in this in turn, the sub workflow in turn invokes a sub workflow two. Sub workflow two. Sub workflow two doesn't contain anything. That's the reason it doesn't show anything. Okay, but if you want to add, you can add. Simply just add sequence. Okay, just add sequence. Inside sequence, go inside, add activity called okay, write line. Okay, so you can simply say we are in the sequence 2. We are in a workflow 2, sub workflow 2. Okay, sub workflow 2. Okay, double quotes, enter. Okay, sub workflow 2 activities. So 2. Just run this program. Okay, now go to main. Okay, and then run file. Now it will run a main.xaml file. Main in turn invokes sub workflow 1, and sub workflow 1 in turn invokes sub workflow 2. So what happened? Okay, then go to first main workflow. We are in main workflow, and then this is sub workflow 1, and then in turn it will go to, we are in the sub workflow 2. That's all. This is how we actually invoke. Is it clear? Please let me know if you still have any questions. Yeah. Any questions, Arda? Anyway, I will share the video. You can go through.
Okay.
But yeah, if you have any, nothing
Yes, sir.
actually. If you want to invoke sub workflows, you can do this.
Okay, sir. Sir, first I have to do, then I will told you what the problem. Then.
Okay. Yeah, practice, no problem. Okay, I will share the
Okay,
code
sir.
also. Okay, here in the video, so you can practice. Not an issue. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And we'll continue with the remaining this thing. Where is this? Now we'll discuss workflow arguments. Invoke activities. We have already invoked activities. Now, how do we use in, out, invoke code, invoke method, and all? Okay. So we can invoke workflow. Just now we saw invoke workflow. We can able to invoke workflow. That's absolutely fine. Now, I just want to explain how to use in-out arguments. Nothing actually. I will create a one simple in-out parameter. Just go to new. Okay. Go to home. Go to, yeah, this one. Okay. Transaction. So day 66 in out arguments. Okay. Right. Done. Created. Okay. Yeah. See here we have main.xaml file. Okay. You agreed with that actually. So I just want to remove all these things. Not required for us. Just remove. Deleted. Okay. Now look at here. This is a okay workflow one. Workflow one. Inside workflow, I want to add two variables. Variable one, otherwise a, comma b. Okay. I just want to pass a and b to another workflow, workflow two, where it simply create another variable c equal to a plus b. Okay, a plus b. After that, actually, there is another parameter called we have to return, right? So output. Since these are actually passing a and b, we have to create two arguments called in underscore a, in underscore b. After assigning int a to the int a and in b, we have to pass both input type arguments a and b to the workflow 2. Okay, so that means in underscore a, comma in underscore b, right? So we are passing both the arguments. After that, what you are doing inside workflow 2, we just adding in underscore a plus in underscore b. Okay, we are creating output arguments called output c, out c. We are just assigning out c. Okay, out c. And then we are, after coming back to the workflow 2, otherwise workflow 1, we are just printing message box the in out underscore c. That's all. This is what we want to do. Can we do it? Yeah, I will show you. Okay, please follow the same steps. Yeah, this is start, and first add the sequence. Add it. Okay, add it. Inside sequence, double click. Just first assign some values, right? Assign a and then control c, control b. Two values I have assigned. So I'm just creating a variables here, and the first variable is actually, we can simply say control a. Okay. Okay. A. That's it. Integer. Okay. And then b. Okay. B. Okay. Again, what type it is? Actually, it is integer type. And this may. Okay. Done. Done. Okay. So now come here. A equals to 10. Okay. Again, come here. B equals to 20. Right. Okay. Two arguments we have created. Sorry, two variables we have created. Assign 10 and 20. Now I want to send these two arguments to the sub workflow, right? First, you have to go to the project. Inside project, just go to new. Okay. So create another workflow, that is sub okay, workflow, right? Created. Okay. Inside sub workflow, okay, we just add for time being, we're just adding a sequence. Okay, we're just adding a sequence. Okay. So come back to the project, go to main.xaml file. Here I just want to add invoke workflow. Okay, come here, just enter, search for invoke workflow, invoke workflow. Okay, invoke workflow. Okay, invoke workflow. Come here, just add invoke workflow. Okay, and select which workflow? Sub workflow. Just now we have created, right, that one. Okay, so if you look at here, import arguments. Okay, so now we are going to create a import argument. Just click import arguments button here. See, we can create a new arguments. So what type of argument? Actually in underscore a. This is the direction is input type, and the string is a integer type. Okay, what is the value? Value is a. Okay, we are just assigning the values. That's all. And again, go to another argument, create another argument in underscore b. Okay, it is integer type. Sorry, in direction is in. Okay, and then type is integer 32, and then value is b. We have assigned value b. Okay, just click OK. That's it. Just go to open workflow. Here inside this, just click here and then click here. Okay, then sequence. Sorry, inside sequence. I don't want another sequence. Just remove it off. Just click here and then assign. Okay, what do you want to do actually? Assign. So we just want to create a temporary variable here actually. So temporary variable actually, we can simply say C. Okay, so it is again integer type. Okay, default. What is the default value? Okay, what is the default value? We just add in A plus in B. Can you do it? Okay, so definitely we can do it. Just come here. Okay, in underscore A plus in underscore B. Okay, in underscore A, in underscore B. So again, we have to create arguments here. Okay, so create arguments in underscore A. Okay, so what type is actually integer. Okay, then in underscore B, in underscore B. Same arguments you have to create. Please remember this. Okay, done. Okay, in underscore A, in underscore B. Okay, so control S, argument type. Okay, variables. What is the error? Value for a required activity 2 was not supplied. Oh, okay, no problem. It is C basically. Done. Okay. Yeah, C. Okay. So now I want to create another argument. What type of argument? Otherwise, you can simply print here message box. Okay. Yes. Okay. The value of C is, okay, C is plus C. That's it. Plus C. What I meant plus C? Okay. Two string we have to use. Okay. Two string. Right. Control S. Now run. So what it does actually, main method, this is a main.xaml file. It invokes a workflow called subworkflow2, where there are two arguments it has passed. Inside these two arguments, we have in underscore A, in underscore B. We just added two values and assign the values to temporary variable, local variable called C, and then write the value over here. That's all. Okay. Just run this program. Okay. Now go to main. Now execute main. From main, we have to execute. Okay, by mistake we execute from sub workflow, but we have to execute from a main workflow. Now it will go and check. Yeah, are we getting an error? The values provided for the root activities argument did not satisfy the root activities requirement. Okay, I will cancel it. Stop it. Cancel. Stop it. Okay, let's go to workflow one. Yeah, here. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, in underscore A, in underscore B, fine, absolutely fine. What about arguments here? There's no arguments. Int only we have created. Otherwise, you can also check here also. It's not an issue. Just click here. Oh, see. Okay. See, in underscore B, in underscore B. Okay. This is input. It is integer type. In underscore B. This is input. Right. Click OK. Okay. Control S. Just run the program once again. Okay. in underscore a, in underscore b. It just invoke the sequence of sub workflow. This is a sub workflow. Just take in underscore a, in underscore b, and get the value and print the value over here. Okay, but still it is taking 0. That I will troubleshoot and I will let you know tomorrow. Okay, so in underscore a, in underscore b, we have captured here. Score b. This is perfect. Control S. Let's go to main. Go to sequence. A equal to 10, B equal to 20. What about arguments? Here we have created arguments, right? There are no arguments. Okay. So invoke workflow. Where is argument? Yeah, this is argument list. Here A and here B. Okay, just click OK. Done. Control S. Now just run once again. Okay, now it has taken integer A, integer B, the value is 30, right? 10 and 20 only we have taken, right? Main.xaml file. See, main.xaml file, we have taken, what are the values we have taken? We have taken 10 and 20 only. That's why. Okay. So the value which it was returning from sub workflow, I want to return back to the main workflow. Can we do it? Yes, of course we can do it by creating a argument here. Okay, I am just creating argument, another argument here. Okay, so this is actually total. Okay, so home out underscore total. So this is out. This is actually integer. Okay, that's fine. Now I just want to assign. After assign, I want to assign. Okay, out underscore total. Out underscore total equal to C. That's all. Okay. C.